Hi guys, welcome to this session of this training. In our previous video, we programmed a mini calculator that takes two numbers and perform addition and console log the answer on the console for us. If you have not watched the previous video, I'll drop the link on the description box below or you click on the icon above. Please subscribe to my channel so you'll be notified when a new video is being uploaded. In today's video, we want to discuss variable scope in JavaScript programming. A scope in JavaScript is the current context of execution in which values and expressions are accessible. Think of a scope as a boundary by which a particular stuff is being accessed. For instance, let's have a variable var n equals to 2, and also remember when we discussed on the last video or previous video, we discussed about variable declarations. We use different ways of declaring variables thus far, and we have late, let's say a equals to 3, and we also have const x equals to 9. Okay, I think these are the most used ways in JavaScript to declare a variable. We have var, we have late, and we have const. We're just going to look at their differences and their scope, how they work. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel, drop comments. If we have a block of code that says n greater than 2, if n is greater than 2, want to declare a variable, another variable called const. Okay, let's just call 10 equals to 0.9. 0.9. Okay, so if we try to access this variable that's declared within this block of code, it's going to throw an error. The variable will throw an error because we cannot access it outside this block of code. That's actually what variable scope is trying to let us understand. We can only access this variable thing within this block of code. It cannot be accessible outside the block of code. Let's just try it. So if we have 10 like so, let's console log this in the browser and see what will happen. Oh, let me just get rid of this straight away. We'll have this error that 10 is not defined. That's because we cannot access this variable outside here. The scope of this variable is only recognized, or the accessibilities of this variable is only recognized within the block of code. Anything outside that is going to give us this error we just said. So a variable scope is just like a boundary by which we access values and expressions in JavaScript. Okay, let's continue. Now, a variable declared with the keyword var can be accessible. It's seen in a global scope. It can be accessible everywhere in the when the code executes. We can access this variable n. Let's just call it n. We can access it very well and we will have it because it is being declared in a global scope. It is being seen globally in a global scope. Even if we can access it because it is being seen in a global scope, like so, we can have the value to be 3 in a global scope. The same thing with X, it can be seen in a global scope as well. We can still have it 9 in a global scope. So, but we have difference between declaring a variable with var, late, and const, as the case may be. Okay, we'll still discuss about it. What are the differences when we declare variables with var and when we declare variables with const? Variable declared with var is saying global. It is saying in a global nature. That means even the window event can access this variable in real time. Window is a global variable that can be accessed everywhere. So if we do window dot the name of the variable, which is n, we'll still have access to this value. Let's just try it. We'll still have two, but we cannot try that with late. Late cannot be accessed globally. We cannot have access to late value with window event. That means it is not seen in a global way. If we try it, we're going to have undefined. We'll say it, right? These are their differences. And a variable declared with const cannot be reinitialized or reassigned another value. For instance, this variable x, I cannot do x equals to 50 again. This will give me error because const stand for constant. But once we define this const, that means that's final. We cannot change the value again. If we try to access this const, if we try to access this const, we'll have some errors. Assignment to constants variable at this is going to give us this kind of error. So when once you use const in your code, you know that that's final assignment. You cannot reassign it again to another file. There are three types of scope in JavaScript. We have global scope, module scope, function scope. Module scope and function scope can be classified as a local scope. That's the way I really like to take it, as a local scope, because it functions within the scope by which it is defined. Like as seen in this example, this can only be accessible within this block of code. Another example is in a function scope. If you use a function like add, like so, and if we have any variable late number like so equals to 15 like so, this variable can only be accessible within the scope of this function which it has been defined. Outside this function, we cannot access this variable number again. So this is how variable scope works in JavaScript. In our next video, I'll discuss on data types and data structures, data types in JavaScript programming, as well as control flow in JavaScript programming. See you in the next video.